Well, hello, everybody. Yes, we are live on a Tuesday afternoon. That's not normal, but we had to get on here and talk about last night. You remember that movie? I mean, I never saw it, but it's called About Last Night. I think it wasn't really a good movie, so I'm not endorsing it. Never saw it. But I got up this morning, I thought, we need to make a show today called About Last Night. Let's talk about last night because the devil came after this channel, man, and he's probably coming after it right now because we're trying to be on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble at the same time. Hope it makes it. Hope it survives. We're going to talk about some stuff about Maui, about the hurricane, and some other stuff that you need to know on a Tuesday afternoon. Start sharing this, liking it, hitting that like button, telling everybody in the world the Big Picture Live is live. This is not a recording. This is live. And yes, we are blessed on a Tuesday afternoon to have the co-host coming in. Sandy will be joining me right after this. All right, look who I got in here, and she come. Look at her, y'all.
Yes.
She's ready for battle.
I am ready for war because guess what? We are in war.
We're in war. Go ahead. Just go ahead and say what's on your heart. Why are you coming in here dressed in fatigues on a Tuesday afternoon?
Not only are we in a spiritual warfare, as we all know, but we are under literal attack.
Yes.
All over this planet. Liberty is under attack.
Yep.
And people's lives are literally under attack.
Absolutely. We are under attack. There ain't no doubt about it. We are under attack. But that's right. Sandy's in the house, Kevin said. That's exactly right. But we will come on here today and just get right into it and just talk to you about, and we're going to start trying to do this as often as possible. Sometimes it won't be able to be me and her because, y'all, don't forget we are Papa and Nana. So she's Nana, and a lot of times she's on Nana duty taking care of our two beautiful granddaughters. So she ain't always available to jump on here like I am. But we are going to try to, as much as we can, get in here and do some breaking news in between.
Yes, we are, because it's important. It needs to be done. And listen, we're looking at multiple monitors, checking our phones, so bear with us. Who
knew when we went in the ministry that we'd become also reporters in the last stage of our life? Like this here says, Sandy and Larry again. Wow. Like 3 hours, 2 hours plus makes 3 hours. I don't know if we'll go an hour today to make it 3 hours or not, but it is a nice surprise, Kevin. Appreciate it. But before we give you an update on Maui and talk a little bit about last night, I do want to just go ahead and jump right to it because this is the thing that is on everybody's mind right now. It's on top of everybody's news, and that is the hurricane that is getting ready to hit Florida. It's already come through the Cuba area, and it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be a pretty serious thing. But, I want to say this before we play this little video here. It just seems like things do seem like they're being more serious than they used to be. But I also think they're always playing it up. Everything that comes, you're being told, tied to the climate thing.
They're not going to let a crisis go to waste because this is eyeballs in front of the TV, right?
Yeah.
But I did just catch a update from Pastor Paul Begley, Paul Begley Prophecy, and they have taken the tent down. So they are taking this very seriously.
Wow. The big tent came down
at Freedom Fellowship.
Wow.
Yes, they can't take chances with the tent getting destroyed and all the equipment underneath the tent getting destroyed. So,
Yeah. Well, we've been in the tent ministry. We understand that.
Yes,
we got the last tent that we had got destroyed by a storm. So we understand that. So this one's called Hurricane Natalia, and I believe there's another one too.
Is it Franklin or Frederick?
Franklin. There it is.
South
there
of
it is.
that. Mm-hmm.
Double threat. Hurricane Natalia and Hurricane Franklin lurk off of southeast U.S. Let's watch a little bit of this right here, and then we'll comment on it.
Good morning. Roughly 2/3 of Florida's counties here are under a state of emergency, including where we are right now, which is Hillsborough County. This area is expected to see a dangerous amount of rain and storm surge when Natalia makes landfall sometime tomorrow.
Pretty much anybody on the west coast of Florida, I mean, you can see major impact.
As Natalia churns towards the Gulf Coast, Floridians are getting ready for the worst. Loading up on sandbags, gas, and groceries Monday. Cases of bottled water were scarce as people like Miranda Connolly and her 2 young children stocked up on the basics.
For right now, we're just going to prepare the exterior of the house, and we're just going to make sure we have our food and water.
21 counties along Florida's Gulf Coast are currently under some type of evacuation order, as Natalia threatens to bring up to 12 feet of storm surge to some areas, and the potential for at least 111 mile-per-hour sustained winds.
Wow.
Satellite imagery from Monday afternoon showed the storm on its march toward Cuba, where it dumped heavy rain, leaving flooding and the potential for landslides in its wake. Natalia comes less than a year after Hurricane Ian slammed Florida's Gulf Coast as a Category 4 storm, killing more than 150 people in the U.S. and costing the state a record $109.5 billion. In places like Fort Myers Beach, recovery is still ongoing, prompting warnings like this one.
A lot of us are still living in trailers from Ian.
Wow.
Please do not stay in the trailers. They're not safe to stay in. Even with a minor surge, they could float.
Here in Tampa, Ian is still on the minds of people like Kiera Lowry, who started buying hurricane supplies earlier this summer.
All right, I'm going to stop it there because, it's just testimonies, which are important. But, the bottom line is people are bracing for another major hurricane coming to Florida, and they're still really recovering from the last one. But when I was looking at that and I was seeing the images of those houses from the previous one, I just thought to myself, it just seems like whether it's Hawaii, whether it's another place, it just seems like homes, in whether it be fires, whether it be tornadoes, homes are being destroyed all around the world.
It's interesting to me. This was just a year ago or just sometime in 2022, right?
Yeah.
Ian. So this is coming right up the west coast of Florida again. And I don't know if I don't remember him saying this just then, but this last storm, Ian, came through one of the wealthiest parts of Florida, Sanibel Island. And I think it totally destroyed Sanibel, that whole area. But here they come again. I don't know how close Sanibel is in relation to where this storm is predicted to come ashore. And they've got some great models out there, but you don't really know. I think those last 12 hours are critical, and we're moving into the time frame of those last 12 hours. This is predicted to come ashore early Wednesday morning. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things I want to point out, I don't know if you saw it, several of the big picture family, you're on target, are saying, every time the U.S. tries to broker a land divide in Israel, we get whacked by hurricanes.
Thank you, Kevin. Great.
Thank you, Tiffany, for that super chat. I appreciate that very much.
Love her.
But there is truly a correlation there. I've seen Pastor Paul lay that out. That every time
you're right, he did.
Yeah. So every time we try to say, we need to divide the land, a major hurricane hits the United States. And look, we're not trying to be tinfoil hat guys here. We say that all the time, but facts are facts. And the Bible says, I will bless them that bless you and I will curse them that curse you. So
Rocksteady said something about the letter I in Florida. So what do we got besides Ian? Was there an Irma? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, they've got a storied history of hurricanes through
they do.
The last 100 years that we could look records up.
Yeah, they do.
But
So the main reason that by the thumbnail, that's just something we want to let's pray. We got to pray. We got to pray. We got to pray.
We do.
And then
me and little Harper, our little 4-year-old granddaughter, I explained to her what was going on this morning, and we did a prayer together.
Oh, that's awesome. And I know her prayers touch God. There's no doubt about it.
They do. Good job, Harper.
Yes, Harper. If you're watching this at home, she does watch us. We'll walk in the house. She'll say, "Papa, Nana, I watch you on the TV." And so we're so thankful. But now I want to highlight this young lady here.
Did we talk about her last night?
We did not.
We did not.
And I think it's time that we appreciate her because we talked about the channel Hawaii Real Estate there, and he's really on the forefront, and she's getting her information from him as well. So he's the hero here.
So she's in the trenches with him.
Saying. So she he had the real estate channel, and then he turned it into Citizen Reporter. Well, she had a channel that she lives in Hawaii, and she was just doing makeup, showing different ways to use different things in makeup. In fact, her channel is called Brush Junkie. because she likes to show off all the fancy brushes that she has. But when tragedy comes to your community, some people just say, you know what, I got to lay all that aside, and I got to use the platform that I've been given to let people know what's going on. Mm-hmm. So she's very, very concerned, and she's just in this little room here, and she just changed her channel into this as well.
That's great.
And I want to just play a little bit of her. I believe this was, when was this? This was yesterday. So see, she's already had 182,000 views on this. So you know, she's being used, and she credits what is his name? Eric? Is his name Eric?
Eric.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember what his not Gates. What did you say his last name was?
I'm not sure.
Someone out there will know Eric's last name.
So we're going to show you also his website, direct website today, where you can go and give to the people of Hawaii. But let's listen a little bit.
Talk about first the numbers, the more recent numbers of missing and deceased. So the I guess still the number of deceased is at 115, and that number is very suspicious because it hasn't changed in a week. I find it very hard.
2 weeks, really,
They
almost.
haven't discovered more deceased bodies
Exactly.
since then, but that has been the number, and I don't expect it to change anytime soon, at least not to a accurate number. The number of missing, and this is kind of odd, they said 388, but in an article that I read from CBS, the 388 names represented a portion of a broader list of up to 1,100. The FBI is working to validate.
Wow.
So they're not just 388.
Thank you for that
people
super sticker,
missing.
DRW.
There
Yes,
are a lot
thank you.
more, probably closer to 1,100 still.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to make this tragedy not seem as bad.
Now listen to this part here. This
as
one I
it
want to show you
actually
this.
is. And I want to read you guys an email I got from a fire captain in California. He says, "There are no missing. Authorities say missing to soften the blow and give a little hope to families so they don't have to deal with the demands of info. Telling you straight, if there are missing, they are deceased. Firemen have not been allowed to investigate. I have seen no resource orders through OES, no IMT or incident management teams, nothing. The government is trying to hide something. In 30 years, I've never seen anything like what is going on here. Something is very, very wrong."
Wow.
So this is not coming from me. This is coming from a fire captain in California. I'm not going to identify him, but
People that know
that
what they're
came
talking
to
about.
me. Okay. And that also brings me to another question that has not been properly addressed
Listen to
by the
this.
authorities. And I talked about this in my last video, is what about the children?
Children.
We know that there are a lot of children who were enrolled before the fires who
Yep.
were not.
Listen.
And I saw an interview on, I think it was at KHON, one of the local news channels. They were interviewing the head of Hawaii's Department of Education. His name is Hayashi. And he was talking about how they're providing all these resources for the children, the victims. But he didn't address the children who aren't enrolled. Like, what are they doing to identify them? Are they investigating? Are they trying to contact their families? You know, looking into if their home was in the burn zone or not. If it wasn't, maybe they should be knocking on doors, trying to
Right.
find and locate these children. And if they are located, maybe offer some assistance to get these children enrolled in school. They
So Sandy, this is what I want to play that part. I wanted everybody to hear from this fire chief, and the very sobering words. There are no missing, and he's like, in the world that we live in, at this point, 2 weeks later, if you're still saying missing,
No, we're talking about 3 weeks.
coming up on 3 weeks.
This
Wow.
happened on the 8th. Today's the 29th.
Yeah, that's true.
This is 3 weeks.
So basically, he's making a good point. If they're missing, you would think that if you say somebody's missing, then you've got a list, because you don't say somebody's missing unless you're looking for somebody. So you've got a list of people that are missing. When 3 weeks later, on an island, it's not like you're on the mainland and you could be in another state. You're not even in another part of the island of your state. You're on Maui. Okay, so what he's trying to say is, let's just be real. It's time to accept the fact that numbers are being twisted. They're lying to us. They're holding something back, because if you're still saying missing, he is saying that means probably
Well, let's
deceased.
talk about an even harsher truth that we've tiptoed around for this week, or however long we've been talking about this. This has, been an actual fact for 3 weeks, but a word that's being used that's probably a more accurate assessment is bodies incinerated.
Yeah.
So when you
even
are
believe we're
trying to
saying this.
collect ash and remains with a dustpan, when you're saying we may never be able to make a accurate DNA positive identification,
Yep.
incinerated.
And the reality is this: it's like a cremation. It's like when someone.
And what happens
Yeah.
during a cremation? Very high heat.
Very high heat.
Very
Not
high heat.
Not a typical grass fire.
No.
Okay, a typical
No.
forest fire.
Well,
I don't care how
obviously-
high the winds are.
Obviously, you're not going to be using dental records.
Todd Rowe asked the question: how many schools were burned down? None, because the kids were not in school; they were all at home. The parents were working; the school was out, and all the kids were at home. So when you see the homes burned, that's where the kids.
Someone
were.
asked earlier, "What's the population?" I believe someone last night stated that 12 or 13, little over 12 or little over 13,000 was the Lahaina
Just Lahaina.
population.
Just Lahaina.
Okay. But these places are very tightly, it's dense population.
Very dense, yeah.
Because the land is so very expensive and no one owns very much property. So they're packed in there. So, it wouldn't be hard to get a lot of people in a small space. Did we say 2,700 acres burned of Lahaina?
so.
We don't know how many acres actually encompass all of Lahaina.
Yeah.
But that was the estimation.
We don't want to say these kind of things because it hurts us to say them, but somebody has to say them.
Yes.
And I want to say that if you watched the show last night, we're going to talk about that in just a second, but we showed the cars were so incinerated themselves that even motors were disintegrated. They were burned to dust. Parts of motors, brake calipers melted. I mean, all this kind of stuff. So the reality is this: it's just hard to hear, and it's even harder to say. Right. If you were a human being inside that car,
and you didn't get out,
I mean, when you look inside those cars, it's horrible to say it, and you see the debris could possibly be also mixed in that debris, human remains, and it's just unbelievable that I never thought, Sandy, that when God told us to start the big picture that we would be talking about things like this. This never ever came to my mind, but yeah,
we thought it was going to be Klaus Schwab and the Green Gospel.
Yeah, exactly.
Agenda 2030,
which is still look. Somebody's saying cremation is 2 to 3 hours at 2,000 to 2,500. Degrees.
Which makes perfect sense. You have
2 to 3 hours. You have people saying they had to stay in the ocean for up to 5 hours. Yeah, right.
To preserve their life.
Yeah.
And if you haven't heard this or come to this conclusion on your own, obviously people could not sustain or they couldn't stay out in the water and fight the waves or, quite frankly, some of the fire and flame that were still shooting at them in the water, and some died in the water.
When you start hearing those stories about those people, testimony saying they're getting hit with fire rocks.
Listen.
Fire rocks. I mean, just almost like a volcanic rocks was hitting people on fire. Rocks.
What did that one guy call them? Hailstones.
Hailstones. He goes, hailstones, not like hailstones like you used to be in hell. He's talking about hailstones.
Right.
Stones that were on fire.
I've heard them referred to as that. I've heard them referred to as fire briquettes.
Wow.
Pelting them.
In the Bible, hailstones, fiery hailstones rain down. Are we getting a preview? But look, this we got to show you one more thing. But I want to throw this up here from Aspen.
Yes.
I'm the same way here, Aspen. Why? Where are the parents screaming on social media?
Yes.
That's the suspicious thing. And I'll be honest with you, it's about this much hope. But I'm holding out hope that very question, because you don't see mamas and daddies out there going, where are my children?
Exactly.
That somehow that's going to be a bridge of hope, that it's not as bad as we think with the children.
Well, I'll say what I said 2 weeks ago. Dead men tell no tales. If they're gone, if they're out of the
parents are
way,
gone,
nobody's crying out.
Yeah.
Nobody's complaining.
Yeah.
Nobody's making noise and wanting answers and wanting to get on TV and get a message out to anyone. Maybe someone found a way in one fell swoop to tie it all up with a neat little bow and go right on in and do the land grab.
Well, look, the guy that's the Maui real estate, he's got a website, and I want to show you the website. I didn't get a chance to show you last night. It's Maui LFG, MauiLFG.org, and I'm going to link it down below. And I'm going to show you, I linked his channel last night, but I'm going to link his channel and this website, Maui LFG, because it's what he's called Maui Let's Fill the Gap. That's what LFG means. So your donation directly goes to the people impacted. This is not going to the Red Cross. This is not going to some major organization. These are people that are living there on the island trying to recoup their life, and you can go there and donate.
As a matter of fact, when we get off today, we're going to donate to this site.
You better believe we are. You better believe we are.
And I encourage anyone else to do the same, because I feel like any money we give will be better served if it goes through Let's Fill the Gap. The LFG stands for Let's Fill the Gap.
Let's Fill the Gap.
They're putting money directly into the hands of people who need it.
I want to show you one more news item that just before I went online, I saw Ricky Scaparo from End Time Headlines shared. And this is just unreal how fast and rapid fire these. I don't know if you've even seen this, Sandy.
No, I haven't.
But this is the top of his website, End Time Headlines. Heads up, massive emergency alert test will sound alarms on U.S. cell phones, TVs, and radios all at the same time in October. Think about it. October surprise, all this kind of stuff. Of course, you see the mask there. You know, everybody, that's where they're trying to take us back. Listen to this. It says it's going to be a very big test on Wednesday, October 4th at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Time.
On 10-4.
Yeah, 10-4. And October 4th is very important to our life. Every TV, radio, and cell phone in the United States. That's the beginning of our Elevate conference. That's the day of our Elevate conference, which, by the way, if you're driving or fly into Birmingham, Alabama, October 4th, 5th, and 6th. We're going to talk about it more on the show coming up. You don't want to miss that. And we'd love to see all our Big Picture family come out.
It's going to be a great time.
But October 4th at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Time, every TV, every radio, and every cell phone in the United States will blare out a distinctive, jarring electronic warning tone of an emergency alert accompanied by a notice along these lines. Quote, this is a nationwide test of the emergency alert system issued by the Federal Emergency Management Agency covering the United States. This is only a test. No action is required to the public. So they are doing this this is what they said, to make sure that every way of communication is ready in case, hypothetically, we face a major lockdown situation where we need to tell everybody.
If we're under attack because of war, maybe?
Unbelievable.
Is this the same emergency alert system that we've grown up?
Well, it's not the same. It's tied on piggyback on. You know, when Trump was president, remember they sent out that one big test, and that was the beginning of this. This is the next phase. That was a rollout. Some of you got it, some of you didn't. Most of it was on our phones. This is phones, radio, TV at the same time. You ever noticed how when they do the test, like you may be listening to the radio and it happened on yours, but somebody else is listening to the same station. It didn't happen at that time. It's just was sporadic. They're saying you will not be able to escape it. It will be on every television, every radio station, and every phone at the same time.
This is a test. This is only a test.
And this is Kevin, this is exactly what I thought right here. This is what I thought. This is preparation for a climate change lockdown.
Wow.
I really do believe that we're getting ready to hear the president of the United States and other presidents and prime ministers around the world unanimously declaring a climate emergency to give them emergency powers.
I'm sitting here in my mind trying to process how that would happen and roll out. It seems impossible, doesn't it?
It does seem impossible.
It seems impossible.
It seems impossible. But I'm telling you what, a lot of things seemed impossible until just recently. Can I get an amen online of my big picture family? If you hadn't smashed that like button, smash that like button now, because I'm going to tell you something. Hey, think about it. This ain't no recording. You're getting Larry and Sandy in the afternoon, baby, while you're still at work, going about your day in the kitchen, getting ready, cooking some food. You got the big picture on live right now because we just had to come on here.
Well, because we're very highly motivated because of last night. Let's talk about
Let's talk about
that elephant in the room.
Let's talk about last night. Last night.
Give us a shout out if you were with us last night and you know what we're about to say.
Yeah, if you were on the show last night.
Or maybe you've seen the archive. I don't know.
Right. If you've seen the archive, you've heard us talking about it, but you didn't get to experience it like all the live folks did. Sandy, last night, we decided we're just going to go there. We're going to talk about some things that are very controversial.
We've never taken like almost an hour to talk about any one thing.
No.
But we felt that it was warranted.
It was warranted.
With this Maui story.
Yeah.
And they went straight up crazy on us.
And when I say they. YouTube and the algorithm gods out there, if you want to call it little g, they started coming after us. All of a sudden, we start seeing in the live chat, I'm getting ads. I'm getting a commercial in the middle of a live. That's never happened before. Then they're getting 2 ads. Then they're getting 4 ads. And then certain people start commenting, I got locked out. Everything froze up. It started over.
I was just asked if I want to block you.
Exactly. Multiple ones.
Or they restarted the show on my device.
We had people show restart from the very beginning. They were, like you said, people were getting pop-ups saying, just without touching anything, would you like to ban this person? Would you like to ban this channel? Is this channel in violation? Would you like to ban this channel so you never have to see this channel again? I mean, all of this stuff started happening.
So not only did people get multiple ads, and this was like almost 2 hours. Almost a 2 hour show. Basically a 2 hour show. People on YouTube Premium.
That is what's wild.
That are not supposed to have ads.
You pay.
We're getting multiple ads.
Yes. I'm talking about people who pay to not have ads, started getting ads popping up on our show last night. And listen,
we must have a big fat check on the way, right?
I looked at it today. It was only a few cents. But I don't know where YouTube got all the money. We didn't get it.
Whatever.
But we don't care about that anyway.
No.
But I'm talking about, but then some of y'all started telling us the kind of ads you were getting.
Oh, some of those were a little risque and strange and questionable.
Exactly. And it was like, it was just insane. And then we watched 2 different times. We watched 50 to 60 viewers just leave. They were just knocked off. We see the live view count of how many's watching live. And we were having the biggest night we've ever had. We had more people simultaneously watching than we've ever had. And all of a sudden, boom. I mean, people just started dropping like flies. And much to my surprise. Now, I hate the word jinx because I don't believe in jinxes, but I don't want to jinx this. It's just the way we talk down there in Alabama. I was shocked when I went back in the next day because he processes through the night.
Thanks, Kevin. He thinks we're going to get a bad social credit score now.
Probably
right.
But you know what? The show didn't get flagged. After it was all said and done, it didn't.
That might be the craziest thing of it all.
Yeah. There's still time because I have got flagged 2 or 3 days later. But it didn't get flagged. And I was just shocked by that. So maybe they just realized we'd done enough to them. But it was crazy, Sandy.
Okay, we have
crazy.
to talk. Someone called me and told me they were the Men in Black and to quit commenting on laser videos. Are you messing with us?
Wait a minute. Where's that? I don't see that.
Last generation.
All right, listen. Is this real?
You're messing.
Someone called me and told me they were women in black.
You're messing.
You're messing. Listen, but you know what? I think they're messing on us on this. But you know, the truth is, we did have people say, never has it happened before, but during the show last night, they started getting spam calls. Remember that? There were several people started getting random crazy calls, and they said, we've never got these before.
It might have been Rick Whitaker.
And
I'm not sure.
So, yeah. So it was a crazy thing. But why? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Because we were. It started when we were asking the question, where are the children?
Yes.
Same thing.
Yes.
Now watch this. There's a show on here on YouTube. I'm having a brain freeze. The military guy that interviews people, Sean
Ryan?
The Sean Ryan show. He made a short. I saw the short the other day. He said the only video that he's ever had removed by this platform, YT, without explanation, was the one that Caviezel was on, Jim Caviezel, talking about the movie Sound of Freedom. And he said the only thing we talked about is faith in Jesus Christ and human trafficking of children. And he said without anybody saying anything to us, they removed that video. He said to this day, and I'm talking about he's covered aliens, Bigfoot. I mean, he's covered every crazy thing you can imagine.
That guy that owns Skinwalker Ranch on
Skinwalker Ranch, all this kind of stuff. None of those shows gets removed. But you ask, where are the children? You ask about what's happened to the children, you get removed. We ask, where are the children in Maui? And it starts going crazy.
Right.
You have to ask yourself why. That's why we tell people, and last night, we started really getting a lot of new subscribers on our Rumble channel. That's why we tell people, go to Rumble. Listen, we love you too. We hope we're going to stay here to the rapture. Rumble.com/Larry Ragland. Go. Rumble.com/Larry Ragland so that we'll have that backup channel.
We definitely appreciate everybody at Rumble.
And then one last thing I want to tell you guys is, we need you to really pray about being a partner with us because we're on Christian television now, as many of you know, maybe you might not know, but Christian television is not like YouTube. Doesn't cost us anything but the cost of the internet to get on here and do what we're doing. This is our love. I'm just going to tell you right now, this is our love. This is our future. YouTube streaming is what God has told us is our future. We understand that. We're not putting all our, really hardly any eggs in the TV basket. But an opportunity came to us and we took it. And we said last night we are making at least a 1-year commitment to Christian television because we want God to introduce this message, this voice called the big picture, to millions of lives that would not know about it just finding us because we're being throttled right now. YouTube is not putting us in front of people like they are in some of these other channels. I mean, we would be blowing up if we was talking about some of the other mess that they're talking about, but we're talking about the kingdom here. So they don't like that. We need some people to become partners with us. So you go to LarryRagland.com, you can become partner, and you can click the Give Now button for a one-time gift of any amount, knowing that 100% goes towards our television ministry to help us reach the world. Or you can write a check and send that check to the addresses on the screen. And I'm going to hold this up here because now we have the opportunity, and we're going to add to this in different layers. But we have just to have something to start with. We have the silver, gold, and remnant. I didn't know what to call them. Okay, I've never done this before. I just what am I going to call these? I said, well, okay, I'll call it silver, gold, and remnant. It's $10, $50, $100. These, when you click on these three icons here, those are for monthly partners. And if you'd like to support us monthly, more than the $100, then just message us, send us an email, Larry@LarryRagland.com. Very easy to know, and we'll figure out how to do that. We appreciate you. So before we get ready to go, we want to just remind you that there's a lot of stuff going on in the big picture. And tomorrow night is Bible study, and at 7 o'clock. Let me see if I can throw this up here. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock is Bible study every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And, of course, for those that most of you know this, what we were talking about from our show last night, but if you didn't know it and you just stumbled across us, we are live for a 2-hour show every Monday night at 7 o'clock. And we want everybody to be a part of that. And last but certainly not least, Sandy, come on, let's show some love for our partners. Woo! The ones that clicked that join button down below the screen and became a $5 a month partner with us here. It means the world to us. Sandy, any closing thoughts on this Tuesday afternoon Big Picture Live?
We need to pray for Florida.
Yeah.
For those in the path of this storm.
Yes.
Really, really call out Florida. Remember Maui. Remember that situation. If you can give to Maui LFG, please do so.
I'm gonna put that
help
back
these
up there.
folks out. And if you know someone who would benefit from seeing our show last night, share it with them. Send it to them.
Yeah.
Because I've been watching some comments in the chat right now At least one person said, I've been talking to people that come into my place of work or that I'm around. They don't even know anything about this that happened.
Clueless.
And if you don't know how to express it to them and share it with them, give them last night's show. Share last night's show with them because we go in depth and we lay everything out, and it's very easy to understand.
Yep.
So we got to get this word out, and we got to pray for these folks.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, and it's not because we're trying to build our channel, but we know that was good content.
People need to know the
truth. They need to know the truth. And
you don't need to figure out you're under attack when it comes to your doorstep. We need to figure these things out now.
Right now. If you're watching on Facebook, and I think it did successfully go to Facebook, make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe, because very rarely do we stream on Facebook. It's usually during the day if it's a breaking news thing and our Bible study. That's it. Everything else, like our Monday night show last night and all the things we cover, not on Facebook. So go to YouTube, subscribe. Go to Rumble, subscribe. Mainly YouTube, because there's some things to be both YouTube and Rumble, but almost everything will always be on YouTube. And something else. So subscribe to YouTube, and like Sandy said, send last night's show. Go back and watch last night's show and send that. And by the way, you can share it, of course, to Facebook. You can share it across different platforms, but click that share and then choose copy, and then copy the link. Then start thinking about people in your family. Create a text and paste that link in a text. Yeah. And text it to them and say, listen, watch this, and then let's talk about it. You need to know what's going on in our world. Watch this channel, watch this show, text it to them. Don't just share it to your Facebook timeline, because let me tell you what's happening. I've seen it on my own. I've heard it from other people. Facebook is grabbing that, and they're not showing it to anybody. You're thinking that you're sharing it to all your friends. Your friends are not even seeing it. When I share something on Facebook from this channel, I look at my analytics, and I've got 8,000, almost 8,200 people that follow me on my personal page, almost 8,000 people that follow me on my other page. That's the ministry page. So that's combined over 16,000 people. And when I share the link to this show on Facebook, I might get 10 reactions. 10.
Yeah, I think you're definitely being buffered down, censored, all that.
Yeah, so share this, personally share this. Send this to them in a text, create a group text, start talking about what's going on in the world. Yeah. And then when you get off this program, just like we're going to do, go to Maui LFG, and I'm going to link it in the description down below. It's not there now, but we're live right now. As soon as this goes off, I'm going to put it in there, and you'll be able to see it in the next few minutes. And if you're watching the replay, it's already there. Click it and pray about giving some amounts. And I'm going to tell you something, this guy's proven himself. Yeah. He's finding people on the ground there that are just local Maui citizens that are trying to go on with their life, and he's posting their Venmo, their Cash Apps, not his, theirs, so that okay, this is the guy I'm sponsoring today. This is the guy I'm highlighting today. Mm-hmm. Here's his Venmo. Here's his PayPal. Send the money directly to them, and I just think that's phenomenal. Yeah. So
he's spending a lot of time. Yeah. Talking with people, trying to show what's happened. Yes. A lot of time. Yes. Filming and editing. So
yes. Thank you for all the likes. I appreciate it. Let's blow this thing up, and let's blow last night's show up. Absolutely. God bless you. And remember, if it's afternoon, evening, morning, in the middle of the night, don't matter. We ain't woke, but we are certainly awake. God bless.
Good afternoon.